So in the last video we talked about damping oscillations. So okay, that sounds like, it's kind of it's like almost, it looks like a negative impact, but it's not really negative. In a sense, we have a lot of usefulness of damping. So let's see where might damping be a good thing in a mechanical system. Okay, so damping is really good, guys. So how about the shock absorber in your automobile? See, okay, so it's really helpful to have a shock absorber in your automobile. I have a little more, oops, I'm sorry, I did not mean to. Okay, so why is this important is because let's say you try to push your car from the front end or the back end, and then see, and then just push it and then see how many oscillations does the car actually do, or how many does it make. Okay, how many number of oscillations does it make before it comes to the rest. Okay, so shock absorber is important. You may say, okay, yes, that's the push. Why is it important? Well, think about if you happen to hit a bump or something, shock absorber is going to be very, very helpful. All right. Another one here, probably you guys are familiar with, is mountain bike fork front shock absorber. So you see there are these shock absorber there. You see there are actually springs. So it's really like a spring mass system, right? In a way. There is this shock absorber in mountain bike are also helpful, where we can see the application of damping. Oh, another one is, this is a bungee jumper. I don't know if you have tried bungee jumping. So bungee jumping also, when once you go down, actually it has the person is the oscillation keeps going, but then it doesn't continue for a long time, right? It kind of oscillates and it dies down, right? Okay, so that's for bungee jumper. Okay, so those are the application those are the situation where we could use damping for our benefits. Now, there may be a system where we don't need a damping at all, right? So, for example, here is a picture. She's, in a swing, and then so how do we overcome damping in a mechanical system? What can we do to overcome the damping? So, damping means it's kind of somehow it's making some part of energy lose. We are losing some energy there, right? So, if you lose something, how do you overcome it? Let's say you had it, you spent $2. You went to a grocery store, you spent $2. Okay, now you don't have that $2. What's the best way to do it? You replace that $2 with another $2 from someone else or something, from bank or someone else, right? So same idea. So again, here is another just picture. How do we overcome damping in a mechanical system? There is a little doggy in the swing. Okay. So let's look at again this, right? Same here. We have a damping here. How do we overcome this damping? We want it to keep continuing oscillating, okay, with the maximum amplitude. Okay. So what do we do is then, because oscillations, it's decaying as a function of time, what we could do is we're losing energy there. So what we could do is we supply energy from external system, okay? So if we supply energy from external system, then this brings us to a situation called driven oscillation. Meaning there is some driving force, external driving force. Driving force responsible that's right, just external driving force, okay? E-X-T-E-R-N-A-L, driving force, okay? So what does that really mean? I'm not going to talk about a lot about this today. I would like to discuss about that on Thursday's lecture. But let's look at this. This water, if it was oscillating, okay, let's say by its own, then it has a tendency to decay after some time, right? But then now let's use the hand. Let me use my external, let's say apply external force. See, look at that. So now the oscillation changes depending upon this driving force. That's the external force. In this case, my water here, which is applying some force here and then oscillating this system, okay? So we'll learn about the driven oscillations in about resonance in the next lecture, okay? And then we'll do maybe a few problems, or let's see if we could start reviewing for next week. We have an exam next Thursday, so that's our exam 1 for chapter 13 and 14, okay? So I'll see you guys next week. Please watch this video. Make sure you are writing this down, just like how you're sitting in the class, okay? If you just watch it and then don't write it down, it goes away, okay? There is a saying in Nepali, I was born and raised in Nepal, say in 9 days, anything you do with the mathematics, it becomes new. In 9 days it becomes new. In 20 days you will completely forget about it. So please make sure you are writing this down and practicing whatever we are doing here, and taking care of yourself, okay? I'll see you guys on Thursday.